Okay, so our next stop is at the Audient booth. Last week, you guys announced ORIA, which is an audio interface and monitor controller, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Pretty much specifically immersive audio. Do you mind talking us through it a little bit?
Absolutely. So ORIA is our new baby, like Luke said, announced last week. This is, we think, the world's first immersive, dedicated monitor controller of audio interface. It does both depending on what you need. If you're building a mix room for up to 9.1.6, plug this in, that's all you need, because it's got inbuilt calibration in every speaker up to 8-band EQ, separate delays per speaker, bass management with crossovers, and it's got Sonarworks integration, which means it comes with a microphone, which you can use with the multi-channel Sonarworks Sound ID reference, which then gets exported directly onto the ORIA hardware. So there's practically no latency, and there's also two switchable sets of stereo outputs. So if you've got your favorite near fields that you like to use that don't really fit in the immersive setup, press the profile button, and that will switch from your immersive with calibration through to a set of stereo speakers with their own calibration.
Yep.
One easy button press. There's also AES if you've got digital speakers, which can be reassigned so you don't have to crisscross cables everywhere, which can be a huge pain.
So you can reroute that in the software.
Yes, absolutely.
Channel layout.
Yeah, makes life so much easier, especially with 16 speakers.
Yeah.
And if you use it as a USB interface, that's one option. Alternatively, if you've got a pre-existing studio with a high track count, use a couple of ADAT cables, turn this into a monitor controller. You still plug the USB in just to control the software, but then if you've got a high track count, low latency kind of setup, this integrates into that then. There is also the option of a Dante card. We think that post-production houses will probably be using that kind of thing quite a lot. There are two dedicated headphone outs which have their own separate channels, so they can be fed by things like binaural from the Dolby renderer. Speaking of the Dolby renderer, that's integrated with the downmix button. So if you want to quickly listen to what your immersive mix is going to sound like on 5.1 or just two speakers, without having to faff around and go out of your store, Pro Tools or whatever, find the button and mess about, you can quickly just go click, click, click. So time savers, which we think that if you're using a monitor controller, you want it to get out of your way and be fast, which is why we designed it this way. The UI is rather pretty, but it's also set up so that it's simple to use. If you want to solo a speaker or mute a speaker, you click on it and it's intuitive. You can see it. It's easy. There are also groups. So if you want to quickly mute the height speakers or just solo them to see what's going on, that isn't going to take you too much time and hassle. There's so much covered, it's hard to cover it all in a short video.
But so you've got a couple of mic pre's.
Absolutely.
As well, right?
These are the same mic pre's from our ASP consoles and ID series. For the first time, digitally controlled, so you can recall the level exactly to the decibel. And they also have the high impedance instrument inputs in them.
Yep.
There's a dedicated function button, which you can use for on stereo, things like mono and phase. Or if in immersive, you can use it for things like returning to a reference volume level. So if you mix an exact volume, you can have that stored. And then that will come back if you want to tweak the volume quickly to check something. And you know you're calibrated, you know that you're consistent.
But if you are using it in its interface form,
yes.
And the ADAT boards, are they
in that circumstance, they can be used as expansion for preamps.
So you can hook up some additional
Yes, so then it becomes 18 in, 18 out.
Nice. It's a lot in one box.
Absolutely is. We're very proud of it. And we hope you all go out and get one for yourselves.
Well, talking of that, when's it going to be available to buy?
Available Q1. So we're looking at roughly the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Amazing.
Pricing in the UK is £2,520, including VAT.